Chapter 30. I am the truth, the way, and the life. Suetel is quite silent in wonderment and asks Julius, "Lord, it is incomprehensible where this man has received his wisdom. I know him very well from the temple, where he was not known for any wisdom. When we were brought here on a ship from Gennesareth, he was seized by the most evil frenzy and had no human appearance. Now hardly 24 hours have passed since the time of madness, and the man stands in a field of wisdom, which Solomon, in all his depths of wisdom, probably never even dreamed about. Do tell us what has happened to him. How did he get to such light?" Julius says, "Don't you know, then, that all things are possible through God? Just observe actively what he has told you, and then you will find out yourself how a person in a short time can achieve such wisdom. Ex trunco non fit mercurius, so the Roman saying goes. A tree stump is immobile, and no action is noticeable, while in the metaphorical polytheism of the Romans, no god has as much to do as Mercury. By Mercury, a correct busy activity is understood, and by a stump, the greatest inactivity possible. And therefore Mercury cannot come into being from out of a stump. Thus it says in the words of wisdom, 'Hurry to be active to achieve true wisdom. Otherwise there is no known way to it. It cannot be learnt like any other science, but can only be gained in and from itself through the true activity according to the teachings of wisdom.'" Thus, if you want to find out exactly how Mathael has achieved such wisdom, which amazes you so much, you yourselves must first reach the same path of activity towards wisdom. Otherwise, all your questions are in vain, and every answer to your questions is in vain. Suetel says, "That is all quite good and correct, but where is the right path very recognizably signposted?" Julius says, "It is not yet midday, and there is still ample time until evening. You will yet hear and learn some more things, and the path will be made quite clear to you. But now, consider what you have heard, and everything that follows will become quite clear and lucid for you. But now you are declared free and completely exempt of punishment. Only never let yourselves be tempted to go against us again, for then it would be much worse for you than now." After these words, Julius comes a few steps back to us, namely to me and to Cyrenius, and asks me whether the trial and the judgment was quite in order. And I say, "Is your heart satisfied? That is, the innermost voice of love in your heart? What does it say?" Julius says, "The greatest satisfaction reigns, and at the same time a worry about setting these people on the correct path in life. I say, well, if that is so, then everything is quite right and in the best order. And the best goal will be reached for these people. But naturally, they will still have to face some small tests. It is good that you are taking them into the Foreign Legion, but you must let them have an adequate opportunity to progress along the recognized path of salvation. But if you want to distribute the 5, with Mathael at the head, among the legion, they will give you all good service in my name, and in a short time they will have a good effect on their innermost wisdom. But for the moment they must not remain in Galilee, for not much time will pass before the temple gets wind of the fact that 47 members have gone missing. And Herod will start a hunt for them. But if they are not found anywhere in Galilee, the seekers will then return again without having achieved anything, and they will consider the 47 to have had an accident somewhere and lost, and will no longer worry about them in the future. And so you Romans remain in the clear, and the 47 because of you. And you will have been helped without any white lie being necessary. Cyrenius asks, but will they be safe in Tyre and Sidon? For there are only very few Jews there. I say, oh yes, they are safer there than anywhere in Galilee. But they would be even safer somewhere either in Africa or in a city on Pontus Euxinus, Black Sea area. Cyrenius says, very good, I will find out about some suitable place for them where they can remain safely unchallenged by the Jews. And if these seekers should manage to reach them, well then, we already have the means to drive them away. Julius says, I am truly sorry, particularly for the 5. For it is truly amazing in what a depth of wisdom they find themselves. And one could reach one's true goal in life much faster through them than in the way one decides for oneself. I say, friend, I alone am the only signpost, way, and goal. Who gave the 5 what they have? Look, I alone. But if I can drag wisdom of the wise out of these 5 terribly possessed madmen in a short time, then I will certainly be in a position to do the same with you, who are not a terribly possessed madman. For I alone am the truth, the way, and the life. If you have me, how can the 5 be of more service to you? Yes, they should and will give many and good services to humanity through me, and only in my name. But you do not need them, especially as in the little town of Gennesareth there lives a certain Ebal, a Jarrah, and even a Raphael. Where else on this earth is there another place which is better equipped from a spiritual point of view? Didn't you hear Suetel's question? Who wanted to learn how and through whom the 5 achieved deepest wisdom so quickly? You see, you know it well. But for them, namely the 5, it is still a puzzle, but certainly not for you. Now if you know what the 5 do not know, how can you consider the 5 to be almost as wise as me? Julius, somewhat shocked, says, Lord, because I was foolish. That is the reason. But now everything is in the best order again, and I have now the greatest joy in your order for the sake of the 47 people, and everything will be obeyed immediately. But you, O Lord, must forgive my little stupidity with God's mercy. I say, I cannot forgive anything. But if you are at peace again in and with yourself, then everything is in order for me, and so all your sins are forgiven. But now go and have bread, wine, and salt brought to the 12, for they also have hardly eaten more than a fly in the last 2 days. Until now, my will alone has kept them strengthened. But since the opportunity is there now, they should naturally also be strengthened with food and drink now. And so let it be so.